We're from Belfast. Peter was the youngest of four. Jerry, Brian, myself, Mairead, and then Peter, in that order. Peter was always fun and he had a pretty warped sense of humour. But he was also quite quiet and thought a lot. Went to Queen's University, but by then the Troubles had broken out. So he went over to Leeds University and he finished his degree at Leeds. And that's where he met Ursula.
Oh, he was very handsome. And with him being a runner, he was very fit and had a very pert bottom. But also, it wasn't just that. He had a lovely sense of humour. Even then, he just enjoyed life. And it was great fun to be around, but he was also very caring. We were going out for 2 or 3 years. We were together for 45 and we were married for 42. Pete got into running at the age of 11. He just fell in love with it. It just transformed his life. He enjoyed the physical challenge, the mental challenge, the camaraderie and the sense of achievement. He was good at it, but he worked hard at it as well. He represented his schools, his universities. He represented Northern Ireland. Huge success. And that's why it was a great tragedy when he got ill, because he couldn't run. He was 34 when he got ill. He was getting increasingly unwell and was diagnosed with chronic renal failure. He was on dialysis for 9 months, and then he benefited from a transplant, which fortunately lasted just over 20 years. It is a gift of life, so we were very lucky.
We met in the early 90s, soon after he'd had his transplant kidney. He'd had a history of being a really good runner, but clearly he couldn't perform at anything like that level. But he was still interested, and a mutual friend persuaded him to join Otley Athletic Club. He was a competitive chap, and within 3 or 4 years, he was at the World Transplant Games.
And won 7 gold medals over the years and many silver and bronze. And it gave him a wonderful outlet and enabled him to become, and us, to become a real part of the transplant family that look after you so well. When his transplant failed and he had to go back on dialysis, that was a bit of a shock. They warn you of that, but it's still hard because your whole life changes again. The dialysis was starting to take its toll, but what happened is Pete had developed, unknown to us, prostate cancer, but he had no symptoms. It had already spread to his bones. So we were in a very difficult place. Once it became clear that the treatment was no longer working, they referred us to St Gemma's. Claire was excellent. Our nurse from St Gemma, she used to come on a regular basis and look after us, do anything that needed to be done, like arranging extra drugs or treatments, any at-home supports and aids that might make our life more easy. She did it with such care and gentleness. It was wonderful. In our discussions with Claire, Peter had made it quite clear that he wanted to die at St Gemma's. He didn't want to die at home. When someone you love is dying, it's wonderful to know that they feel safe and loved and cared for where they are. And that's what St Gemma's achieved for us, with nothing else to worry about, except being together, being cared for, and having quality time that enables us to leave each other in the best place we possibly could and in the best way we possibly could. And I shall be forever grateful to them for what they did for both of us.